So this is my little jig that I made last week at the boat yard, and it's kind of turned out quite successful. I've also been looking at the design of the lugger. So the curve that kind of goes up from the midsection of the boat to the bow, it does raise, but it's quite a straight raise, which probably explains why that is. It's not straight because look, you can see it raises a bit, but it is fairly straight. So I'm not going to worry about that curve too much. Now, you'll see I've actually bought some more wood, and I've just been playing around, trying to make, doing it with one hand here, trying to make a negative of the jig. So at the moment, this is the gunnel here. Now, what I'm going to show you is something I made last year. I never recorded, and that's this. Let's try and put it on the floor here so we can see it. We've got a better view of it. So you can see, look, I kind of made a makeshift wooden side to the boat. And when you attach that to the boat, I'll put a little bit of video up now while I'm talking. You can see it makes the boat look kind of like a yacht in a way. And it gives you the desired sort of spray cover that I'm after. And all I'd need to do is then make the other side of this and put a roof on. Pretty simple, really. But this was done very trial and error. You can see the edges all over the place. I didn't really have a jig to do it. And by the time I got into this, I realised it was going to be a much bigger project, with the boat being so far away at Bala, you know, and not having tools ready. And I didn't even have this idea, you know. So it just fell on its face, really, this project. So I didn't record it because it was such an awkward kind of process. It just didn't warrant getting into the video. So by the way, just for full disclosure, there's not much, if anything, I leave out of what I do. Most of what I get up to, I do video. I can't, off the top of my head, think of anything else that I've left out of the videos, really, other than this. It's just that this was such a dramatic... It just wouldn't have made good video. It was me faffing about, mumbling along, and it just didn't work out. So unfortunately, let me just turn that round. I got it the wrong way round. So that, imagine if that was now on the gunnel and this piece of wood was this piece of wood. You know, we would now be able to screw that down, fiberglass it up, and we would have a... Let me just get this sort of lean on there. There we go, I've lent it on there. So now, you know, that would be kind of like that. You can see how it does loosely follow the curve. In fact, it follows it better than I thought it did. And that's the beginning of a spray cover. Look, if I just capitulate and just screw that into the gunnel, then, you know, there's a side made. All I then need to do is replicate that on the other side. And then for the middle, we either have a little roof, which would be, quite frankly, very easy to do. We just need to get some wood, trusses, and then panel it. And, you know, that would be job done. The best, most full design would be to have the whole wood thing, like I've just described. So another one of these the other side, and a roof. The benefits of that are that it's a permanent fixture, strong. You know, you've got the wood, so you could really block up any holes. It would be brilliant, actually. The negatives are that it would be more permanent. It'd be quite big to remove. You've got the problem of reaching for the anchor and access to the front of the boat. You know, so maybe a hatch, I don't know, something like that. And it would probably need to be more permanent. The next sort of idea down would be to not do the roof, but to have the sides. And then to the sides, we would get some more wood. This is probably not quite... Actually, let's get this thinner wood. we would then sandwich PVC here, so it would roll up and tack in, tie in here when not in use, or it would then be pulled over to the other side where it would be velcroed. I don't know what, it would be secured the other side, and that would solve two problems, wouldn't it? It would solve the access to the front, because we could very quickly undo that and get to the front, roll it up, get to the front. It would also mean these two sides would be a lot more portable if we wanted to take them off. That would literally be the extent of the size of them. There's another benefit here as well. You could have varying heights, things like that. The negative of doing it that way would be it's nowhere near as strong, and you've got this kind of PVC running over. I don't know. I think maybe with a little hatch at the front, maybe, and as long as we made this strong enough so we could walk down the side and stand on the top even, then, like a proper yacht, then maybe having a hatch would be the better idea. So I don't know. The next step down would actually be to do away with all of this. And that's why I was showing you this originally. So let's bring this back round. What we could do is literally get a piece of wood. Now, it'd need to be thinner than this profile. Maybe this profile would be enough. And we could actually, imagine if this was the gunnel now. Let's put them both together so it looks more like the gunnel. And the bow's up there. And this is the outside. We can actually just get the PVC and sandwich it to the gunnel anyway. Because if we're screwing stuff in anyway, we may as well do it this way. And that way, we would actually have no complexity of this at all. Now, the negatives of this are that, first of all, the positives of this method would be very quick and easy to test. We would need a ridge, so this would, kind of go right over. But we've got our ridge, haven't we? We've got the bowsprit that's going to form the ridge. And then we could come up with either Velcro. I've been very impressed with the strength of the Velcro I've got. And I think with a thick enough patch sewn in both sides onto the PVC, the Velcro we've got would be more than strong enough. And we'd sew that in. So, we can try. Or we'd have to go for a zip of some nature. I think press studs would have gaps and things like that. So Velcro as well would make the cover very openable very quickly when we need to get in. So I'm kind of hopeful for that. I think if that were to work, that would be good. Obviously, the structure is going to be much weaker because the sides and the top will just be Velcro. There wouldn't be a top because it would just go up like a ridge. So we could do it that way. The negatives are, where do you stow the PVC when you don't want to use it? Well, yeah, I guess you just roll it down, don't you? And you just got to make some kind of fixing along here, so it will tether up and then it will just sit inside. Now, if we have it on the outside of the gunnel as well, so this sandwich piece on the outside of the gunnel, then the top is clear for the fairleads and the inside is clear for the extra cleats I've got. So that's good. And then we could just put some very small cleats maybe in at 2 or 3 positions to tie up the PVC. We'd work that out. That's the least of our worries, really. So, yeah, that's starting to become a really good idea. The other thing I like about this is potentially if we buy some matching wood, you can get like teak. Sirocco is what's used. But you can get like some mahogany, things like that would withstand seawater. Then we can plane that down lovely, shape it, and it actually just wouldn't look like the boat has got anything attached to it really at all, Oh, by the way, not going to use this wood. This is just cheap old don't even know what it is. Pine. It might be pine. I think it's just softwood from B&Q. This is just for testing, really, nothing more than that. So we could, that would prove a good idea. We could actually improve this idea by having a short piece of PVC with a zip, and we could zipper the PVC on the sides and then Velcro in the middle, or even zip in the middle. Zips are expensive, especially if you need good big chunky ones that are strong. You shouldn't underestimate the power of the waves and the water that are likely to come, gushing up the bow of the boat and up and under this PVC. So that's why I do like that sandwich method here. So that's the three ideas. And I know I've talked about this. I've probably talked about this 3 or 4 times on the channel, haven't I? Muted it. But I think we've now got 3 established ideas. Now, I think the biggest issue for me is connecting stuff to the boat. And we need to connect stuff largely to the gunnels, I think, or we have to connect things under the gunnel. But either way, we're going to need a hole. So we've got to work out where we want that hole. Do we want to put screw holes in the gunnel and be done with it? Or, but that makes things not so removable. You can only screw and unscrew in the same hole so many times before, you damage the wood and whatnot. Do we drill through and put a hole and then use bolts? They're a lot better. That would be a lot better. But you're drilling a big hole through. Do we put the hole in the fiberglass just under the gunnel and connect things down there and make the wood? That would be more complicated. So, at the moment, though, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the boat and we're going to try this sandwich method with the clamps, and we'll see if we can kind of mock up with the PVC a system that works, and we'll check if it's flawed or not. I don't know. And we'll see if we can get something to work, I think, that way. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, I think, as well as loads of fiberglassing. I'm thinking that, we might leave it on the boat, see how we get on with it, sailing on the lake. And if we're liking and loving it and we want to make it more permanent, we'll make a wood one, So, so there we go. That's the thought process, and we'll continue that tomorrow. So the PVC I'm hoping to use is, do you know what? The more I look at this, the more I think it's a bit thin, but, we'll live. And this is the Velcro I've used on the boat, and it's been really successful, this Velcro. It's just bought from Amazon. And what I thought I would do is, because I've got loads of little spare bits of this. Oh, I've got some spare of this as well, look. So what I thought I could do is just stick some bits on and see how they go. So just as a test. So this piece here looks about right, doesn't it? Maybe that and that. Is that right? Like that? Yeah. So that's rough edge down. This will be fluffy edge down. And then on the other side, we'll stick those to the flat, or they're sort of matte but flat side. See, there's a matte but flat side. Now, it does take, 24 hours or so to cure. This does. So the longer we leave it, I think the better chance we have of it working. The idea is not to just rely on the sticky tape for them. I don't think that's going to work. But we will stitch them. But the sticky tape, I'm hoping, when it's stitched down, will create a waterproof seal as well. So, yeah, I've been really impressed with that Velcro. So, yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't stick to this and create a nice waterproof edge as well. But if you've got waves crashing over the spray cover, then, yes, you're going to have to sort of maybe sew it, and even that might not be enough. You never know. But at least this is helping a little bit.